Welcome back, Mr. Rolo here, and today I'm going to be fixing Kid Cudi's discography. So this is the second part in the series. The first one I did was A$AP Rocky, and I'm sure it pissed some people off, but I don't think it got any dislikes actually. So I got a couple likes. So and honestly, I don't really care. I I like ranking things and I like fixing things. So this is just what I'm going to do. So yeah, this is Kid Cudi, and I imagine this is going to piss more people off, but what are you going to do? So I'm going to look at just his entire discography. So this is probably going to be a pretty long video. His entire discography, and then just from there, just kind of delete and reorganize things until I think it'll be perfect. Make his discography as perfect as possible. And he is one of my favorite artists of all time. Definitely top 5 of all time for me. I love Cudi. But yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, you'll be able to tell as we go which ones I like and which ones I don't as much, and ones I don't really like at all. There's not much that I don't really like from Cudi, but yeah, I have it all on my phone, all the notes and everything. So I've already went through my head. Typically I just go in and wing it. Try to be a little more organized and have more cohesive thoughts. Let's just get right into it. His discography, right, it goes from 2008 to current day, so there's a lot to cover here. So we're going to start off with A Kid Named Cudi, his first mixtape ever in 2008. Now, this one, so what happened initially was I was like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan of this. Like once I got into his stuff, then I found this and I was like, oh man, I'm such a big fan, blah, blah, blah. Because I just like to be different. I feel like that was my thing. And I was like, oh, I like his mixtape. Do you like his like trying to be like one of those people? I was a lot younger, so a little immature. But looking back on it, I don't really go back to this one that much. And for me, it does feel very like stepping stone. Like he was developing his artistry and was not quite there. Looking back on this, there's quite a few I would delete. I would pretty much just make this an EP, to be honest, as opposed to a full-length project. But let's just jump right into it. So as you can see right here, there's the track list. So we got, how many songs? We got 17 songs. I'm going to be straight up here and just tell you that I would delete 11 songs off of this. Because it's not that I think these songs are all bad. It's just I don't really think it's necessary in having in his discography. Right off the bat, I'm going to delete Intro, Down and Out. They're both okay. Just I don't really ever go back to them much. If they come on, I typically skip them. Sorry. Is There Any Love? I am going to keep. So I'm going to keep that one. Cudi Get, I'm deleting. Man on the Moon, I'm keeping. The Prayer, I'm keeping. Day and Night, that came out on Man on the Moon, so I'm not even going to bother with that one. Embrace the Martian, I'm going to delete. Now here's a twist. I'm going to keep Maui Wowie. I'm deleting 50 Ways to Make a Record. I'm deleting Whenever. Pillow Talk, I thought about keeping it, but now I'm going to delete. I'm going to delete Pillow Talk. And then Save My Soul, I'm deleting. TGIF, deleting. Cudi Spazzin', I'm deleting. Cleveland Is the Reason, I'm deleting. Heaven and Night, I'm keeping. As you can see, I deleted most of the project, but then I would add Dose of Dopeness. So, delete 11, add 1. We go from 17 songs, well, technically 16, because, I mean, Day and Night, that appeared on, Man on the Moon, so it doesn't really count. So there's practically 16. And then I delete 11, so it leaves us 5, and then I'm going to add Dose of Dopeness. So here's the track list we have. And I organized it in a very different way. And I just took those 6 songs. I just thought what would be better, what would sound good together. So Man on the Moon, I think, is a great intro to his entire discography. I think it would have been a great way to start. Dose of Dopeness, such a good song, catchy, and it's very him. Maui Wowie is just one of my personal favorites. And honestly, I could have added Pillow Talk, Save My Soul, possibly, in place of this, but Maui Wowie is just one of my favorite songs. I love that song. And then Is There Any Love with Wale? I thought there would have been a nice track there. The Prayer, one of his best songs from this era. And then Heaven and Night is a great closer, and honestly, it would have transitioned nicely into Man on the Moon. Delete 11. and leave 6. So that probably already pissed some people off because some people are going to be like, kind of like I was, like, oh my God, such a good project, blah, blah, blah. It was a good project. It was solid, but now we're going to jump into Man on the Moon. The original Man on the Moon, the first one, and just like masterpiece, absolute masterpiece of a project. And there is not much I would change here at all. Well, first things first, as you could see, I deleted all the parentheses. I think it's a cool touch, but he doesn't do that on the other ones. Man on the Moon 2 or 3, he doesn't have the parentheses. I don't think. I could be wrong. Maybe on streaming it does. But completely get rid of the parentheses. That's the first thing I would do. Like, sure, they are different sections, but we don't really need parentheses like, you know, Nightmare or Dream, whatever it is. I don't think we really need that. On the vinyl, it's cool. I like the back, how it has like the different sections and everything. And if it is meant to be that way, it's whatever. But I personally don't like it. And also one other thing, Intergalactic. I would delete, in parentheses it says Love Connection Part 1 or 2 or something. Maybe I'm not that big of a fan. I don't really know what that means, to be honest. I don't think there's another Love Connection. Maybe it's 1 or maybe it's Part 2, whatever. Just delete all the parentheses and everything. You can keep all of the skits common. You can keep common throughout. I think it's great. It adds so much to the album. However, I want them all on the tracks, like beginnings and ends. So, but if we're talking actual songs, what songs I would delete? There's only one that I think I would even consider deleting because I think this is like a perfect album, and it's Simple As. And I might get killed for that. I don't know if that's people's favorites or whatever, but that for me, it's a good song. 1, 2, 3. Simple as that for you, simple as. Simple as. Like, yeah, it's really good. And like, I put a question mark next to this. I was thinking about if I shuffle this album, every song that comes on, every single one, I'm not even like considering skipping. There's not even one on here that I'd be like, skip. No. I would absolutely keep all of these. Simple As is the only one I would consider. So that's like a maybe. Amazing album cover. The only other thing that kind of bothers me is Man on the Moon. This, in iTunes at least, it comes third because it has the colon after. Man on the Moon, The End of Day. I could always just add a 1. But the other ones have Man on the Moon 2, Man on the Moon 3. Those come first since numbers are before the colons, apparently. So that kind of always annoys me too. One of the greatest albums, like, of all time. Top 10 album. Just changed everything. It's perfect. And if you delete that one, it'd be 14, just perfection. This is still 15, very, very, very solid. But I sometimes find myself skipping Simple As. And I don't know if it's just me, but yeah. So we deleted 11 off of A Kid Named Cudi and one maybe off of Man on the Moon. The next one. Man on the Moon 2, The Legend of Mr. Rager. Man on the Moon 2, The Legend of Mr. Rager. Now this is one of my favorite albums as well, and one of my favorite album covers of all time. I love this album cover. It's so good. But let's look at this track list. So for me, this one is a little bit congested. I feel like there's some stuff on here that doesn't really need to be, and I hope I don't get killed for that. And a lot of people say this is better than the first one. I think those people are crazy. And I think Man on the Moon 1 does not have any flaws like at all. This one, I feel like there's a couple songs on here where I'm like, I skip them 80% of the time, unless I'm listening all the way through. I would delete 3 songs off this. And there's 17 on here, so 17, you bring that down to 14. Just like Man on the Moon 1, like I would do. 14, it would have been perfect. I think that's a great length album. The 3 songs I would delete. So I would delete, ready? The Mood, Maniac, and Ghost. I think these 3, especially The Mood and Maniac, these don't do anything for me, really, to be honest. Like, I don't know. They're just not, it's just not it for me. Lost in the motherfucking mood. And it's like that creepy, like it fits the album. It's just not a song I enjoy that much. I put it on, I'm like, I don't know. It's a weird song. And then Maniac, I am a maniac. Like the production and everything, everything's cool. Cage is great on this. It's just, again, it's just not something I really enjoy or put on ever. I usually skip it. And then Ghost is the only one I think it's kind of like a maybe as well, but I'm just going to delete it. Just delete it just because if you delete those three, then look at the rest of this. Oh my God, this intro is one of the best intros of all time. Scott Muscudi versus the World. Revo Fev. I still don't know what that means. Maybe I'm fake fan for that, but whatever. Then Don't Play This Song. Amazing. And I know some people say we got Break Your Mind Up is a delete. I'm sure some people would say that. I think it's a cool little interlude, and then it goes into like an amazing 4-track run. We have Marijuana, Mojo So Dope, Ashton Kutcher, Erase Me. Oh man, those four are crazy. And the Wild Cause I'm Young is a little bit weaker, but if you find the right move for that, yeah. And the cop part, cops be wildin', whatever he says there. I forgot. And then Into Mr. Rager, one of the greatest songs he's ever done. These Worries, another one of the best songs he's ever done. The End is a little bit weaker, but I love the storytelling in that. It's great. All Along's amazing. Trapped on My Mind is amazing. So you delete those three, but here's the thing. So in my music, I add like the singles or stuff that came out around that time. I add it to the end of the album and put the same number for the end. So delete these three, and then I'm going to add 2 songs. So you see right here. So I have Creepers, Maybe, and No One Believes Me. So delete these 3, but then I'm going to add in Creepers and Maybe. Boom. We're going to go from 17 down to 14, back to 15. So 15 songs I would have on this total. So delete The Mood, Maniac, Ghost. Here's what my track list is going to be. Scott Muscudi, this, and this. I guess 16. I would put Creepers and Maybe straight on the album. I wish he did that. Creepers was on April Summer, and then Maybe, I don't even know where that came from. Is that a deluxe? I don't know. So I would still finish on Trapped on My Mind though. I would put Creepers. Oh my God, yeah. I'd put Creepers in this whole mix. So I would do Creepers right in between Mojo So Dope and Ashton Kutcher. So right in there, and add to that, make it a 5-track bangers back to back to back. And then Maybe I would put near the end, right before Trapped in My Mind, because I think Trapped in My Mind is a great closer. So, and then No One Believes Me. That was another thing released around this time, or SoundCloud. I don't know what it was, but I would just delete that one. No One Believes Me is still a solid song. It's just, I don't know. I find myself skipping it sometimes. So 4 songs total I would delete off of this. And then 1 off of Man on the Moon. So 5. 5 in like the modern, like after mixtape Cudi. Next up we have Wizard in 2012. Now, this is his 3rd project. This was with Dot, and it was when he was sober. He got sober, and it's like way more rock. Like, I love that part. But this one I think is so slept on. I think this has his greatest song of all time on here. I think, or one of the best songs he's ever done. Teleport to Me, Jamie. I absolutely love that song, but we'll get into that anyway. All right. So there is 2 songs that I would delete on here. Full disclosure, also Rocket. Rocket was not on this album. That was something he released very recently. Boy Flew to the Moon, whatever. But he said it was around this time period, so I put it on here. But regardless, I'm going to delete that one too. But that's not on this album. But I just don't really care for that song that much. Break, Dr. Pill, Rocket. Those are the 3 from this time period that I would delete. But regardless, from the actual album, I'm going to delete Break and Dr. Pill. Now, Dr. Pill, I think, is a decent song. I think it's a solid song. I'll listen to it sometimes, but most of the time I find myself skipping it. And Break, I almost never really listen to. I'm not a fan of that song at all. It just doesn't click with me. But if you look at everything else, oh my God, The Arrival, I think that's a great instrumental intro. I think it's cool, whatever. I wasn't too hard on instrumentals. I don't mind them. I think they add to the album and the atmosphere that he's created in the album. High Off Life, amazing. The Dream, Time Machine, solid. Love Hard, really good. Live and Learn, so good. I love that song. And then Teleport to Me, Jamie, top five Cudi song of all time. Probably my favorite song of all time that he's ever done. Where Did You Sleep Last Night? Another freaking classic. Afflictum, I think that song's so cool. And then Upper Room, solid finisher. So this album, like, so close. So there's like 11 official songs on here. And I would delete 2, bringing that down to 9. But if we're going to add Rocket, delete Rocket as well. So 3 off of here. The ratio here is still very, very good. Next up, in 2013, we had Indicud, which is probably my favorite album, I think, that he's ever done. I love this album. However, it is interesting because I would still delete 3 songs off here. But I just think for me, I go back to this one so much. I go back to this one more than Man on the Moon, actually, for me. This one connects with me. But there is 3 songs I really don't care for at all. So I'm going to delete 3, but I would add 1 as well from this time period. There is a total of 18 songs. There's a total of 18. So 18 songs right off the bat. And I believe, let's say 2 of these. 2 of these are just straight up instrumentals. Now, I don't mind the Resurrection. I think it's a cool intro. Again, I don't mind instrumentals as like intro. Oh my God, Unfuckwittable. Such a good song. Just What I Am, one of the best songs he's ever done. Young Lady, absolute classic. Then you have King Wizard, Immortal, Solo Dolo Part 2, and then this and this. Yeah. I do not like Girls. I think it's a weird, creepy song, kind of. Reminds me of Jay-Z's, the song on Blueprint, Girls, Girls, Girls. It's just weird. All different shapes and sizes. Damn, I can never sing a song. I can never sing a song properly. I forgot how it goes, but whatever. You put it on, I could still rap almost all of it, I bet. And then New York City Rage Fest are just unnecessary. I think it's a fine instrumental. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't, for me, it's just kind of interrupts the album for me. I know it's like a divider of like the halfway point. And maybe he did that intentionally, but I'm not the biggest fan. And then you go into Red Eye and Mad Solar. Oh, Red Eye is one of my favorite songs he's ever done. It reminds me of like the song with Willow. Such a good song. And then Mad Solar, I think it's cool. Might be a little long. I get the point after like maybe 2.5 minutes. It's 4 minutes long. A little bit long. It's fine, whatever. Keep all that. And then I'm also going to delete Bees. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm not a real hip-hop fan or... I do not like RZA on anything he's on. And on Bees, it's pretty much just RZA, I think. Or if it's not, I don't even know. Because every time RZA comes on, boom, automatic skip for me. Not a fan. One of my least favorite Cudi songs. I hate that it's on here. I don't know how people like that song. But yeah, those are the 3 songs I would delete. Because then from there, Brothers, solid song. But then the 3 greatest track run he's ever had, in my opinion. Burn Baby Burn, Lord of the Sad and Lonely, and Cold Blooded. Oh, you know I'm cold, yeah. One cold blood. You know. And then afterwards, that's a solid song. 9 minutes, I know it's a point to be long, but 9's like excessively long. King Chip does good in that song, though. Yeah, so delete those 3. And then 18, The Flight of the Moon Man. We're going to leave that. That's an instrumental close it. So I think opening and closing instrumental is fine. In the middle, not a fan of New York City Rage Fest, but yeah, so delete those 3. Other than that, just an amazing album. And then we're going to add this song. We're going to add. Oh, I love this song, The Ruler and the Killer. I would put that right after Cold Blooded. That would make this a great 4-track run. So I would delete 3, these 3. But then, so delete those 3. So what is it? 19 total. We're going to delete those 3. Brings us down to 16. And then add The Ruler and the Killer. Most of his albums have 16 to 20 songs, which are very long albums. So, I mean, 2 or 3 from each album delete. It's not that bad. Now we're going to go to my hottest take. His best album. I know I just said that about Indicud. Could be Man on the Moon, Indicud, but this is a hot take because I think the next one is one of his best albums. All right, so the next album I'm talking about in 2014 is Satellite Flight, The Journey to Mother Moon. His most slept on album. of all time, and people would disrespect the crap out of this album, and they have no idea what they're talking about. This is the greatest album he's ever done, or at least top 3 for me. I think this is my favorite album he's ever done. I don't know what people are talking about. And I know it's half instrumentals, but it doesn't matter. The atmosphere created in here is perfect. This is prime Cudi 2014. Wizard and this are the most slept on albums, but this definitely wins. I'm only going to delete one song off of here. And you know what that is? It is Return of the Moon Man. And it's an instrumental. The most annoying instrumental I've ever heard. If you're a Cudi fan, you know exactly that annoying as it goes on for like how long? 5 minutes. Oh, what a bad song. It's just it's just an annoying song. Delete that song. Absolutely. Other than that, this is perfection, and I'm ready to fight tooth and nail to prove it. I'm dying on this hill. This is top 3 Cudi album of all time. All right, you step right into the atmosphere of the world that he's created, where he's on the moon and he's out of space. Like, so good. Boom. So we have instrumental right off the bat. Great instrumental. Then we have Going to the Ceremony, Satellite Flight, back to back. Easily both 8 out of 9, or 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10s, both of them. At least 8 out of 10s. Copernicus Landing, that one's a cool one. Another instrumental. And then it goes into Balmain Jeans and Too Bad I Have to Destroy You Now. You can't tell me those are below like 8.5 or 9 out of 10, if not higher. Amazing songs. Internal Bleeding, a little bit weaker, I'll agree, but still fits right on this album beautifully. And he's just singing his heart out. How can you not like that song? In My Dreams 2015, great. Another fine instrumental. It just carries on, builds the atmosphere more. It's just a perfect collection of production on here is amazing. He sounds great on here. The lyrics, the vibes, and just the world that it creates is crazy. And the instrumentals are very, very instrumental in making that happen. And then Return of the Moon Man. One of the worst songs ever. Horrible instrumental. I don't know what he was going for here. Maybe you're supposed to be like annoyed or like on edge. It's just not for me. And Trouble Boy, amazing. Absolutely amazing. But then, so you're going to tell me this isn't prime Cudi already? We're going to add 2 songs to this. So delete 1, add 2. Hero and Love. Come on. Hero is a great, great song. And then Love is one of the best songs he's ever done. So it's just, if you just have this entire album, honestly, you could just have it as is. Like, those songs fit perfectly. I don't know why he didn't add those. Delete 1. 1 song. So 1 song I deleted off this, and 1 song I deleted off Man on the Moon. Maybe. I think everyone knows what time it is now. It's 2015, and we are entering a dark time in Cudi's discography. And his life. Alrighty, so Speedin Bullet to Heaven. Now, I hear people constantly say that this is like horrible, the bad album. And then there's the people out there that are like, this is the best album of all time. Like, I don't agree with either of those statements. I don't think it's that bad of an album. I think it's actually pretty freaking solid. There's a lot of solid songs in here. And then there's also some really, really rough songs that are just like, oh, God, how can you listen to this? And then sprinkling Beavis and Butthead throughout did not help. I don't know what he was thinking with that. I know he's in a dark place, and I do respect this album. When people say it's his best album of all time, they're clearly just either have hearing problems or are just so delusional, or just on an insane amount of drugs, or I don't know what else. Or they're just straight up liars, or they just want to be different. No ways this is the best album, but I think this is better than A Kid Named Cudi. I think the highs on here are so good. And I think I've listened to this album so many times because I'm just trying to wrap my head around what I think of it, and it changes on a dime. It's just rough to listen to. It's such a complicated, complex album. it really makes you think, which I think is very, very, very good for an album. I already edited this, very much so. I removed all Beavis and Butthead myself. Anyone with a brain should do that. Any skit, any individual skit, delete. These are only the real, actual, legit songs I'm looking at. So there's 19 legit songs on here. So my track list looks like this. Edge of the Earth, yes. I think that is, it's a little rough and the quality's weird and he's going for some weird stuff there, but it really sets the mood for the album. And I don't hate it. I don't think it's a bad song. Postmortem Boredom, good song. Postmortem boredom, settling in my bones. I think it's cool. And then Confused, super dark song about blowing his brains out. But it fits the album, and I think it's a pretty good song, honestly. Man in the Night, amazing. Love that song. And then Screwed, I even would keep that. I think these 5 are fine. And then we get into Fate to Red. Fate to Red, this one's just too chaotic for me. It's just just screaming. Definitely delete this one. Delete that one. Adventures is fine. The Nothing, one of the worst songs he's ever done. Do not like that song. Is that the one where he's like, can I have a piece of candy? Or what does he say? Mary, Mary, quite contrary. That song's kind of funny. That's an unbearable listen for me. Insufferable. I can't listen to that song. And then Amen, I don't like as well. That's another just chaotic one. And then Handle with Care, honestly, really, really good song. Judgmental Cunt, one of my favorite songs he's ever done. Love that song. I love Aggressive Cudi. And then Seance Chaos, absolutely I delete. If anyone keeps that, oh. And then also Fairy Tale Remains, not a fan. Wedding Talk's fine. We could leave that. Angered Kids, I think is one of the worst songs he's ever done. Hate that song. Red Sabbath, fine. Fuchsia Butterflies, amazing. Amazing song. Speedin Bullet to Heaven, really good song. And then Embers, great. Awesome way to end the album. I don't know if he ended it or with Beavis and Butthead. I don't know how he ended it. But yeah, honestly, those 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Delete those 6 out of 19. So that's not that bad. So around this time, I don't know if it was deluxes or what. There was way more songs on SoundCloud and stuff he just randomly put out. And yeah, it's not exactly good. If we're going to look at all these other ones as well, I'm going to delete Anomaly. Going to delete Melting, Return of Chip Douglas, Speedin Bullet to Heaven remix. I think that was the original or acoustic. I don't know what. It's not as good as the original, so delete that one. Wait, definitely delete. Yeah, okay. And then there. So I'm going to delete a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 from that era. So not exactly good. 6 off the actual album, 11 total. So all those bonus and SoundCloud stuff, pretty bad, except for, I don't know if this was deluxe or whatever it was, but Inside Out, Insides Out, Trauma, and Worth. I think these are great songs. I think Inside Out. I think it's a great song. I love that song. Super sad song, but and then Trauma, also another one where he's talking about seeing his dad's corpse, right? Yeah, that one's rough. And then Worth is a cool song. It's all right. That one has its moments for me, but I would add it to the album. So delete 6 out of those 19, so you're 13, and then you add those 3, and there's 16. And also, just so you know, I would add Worth at the end, so at least you finish off on a decent note. The whole message of that one's pretty decent. And then Trauma, I would actually add to right around here, Handle with Care. Right after that, I would add Trauma to there. And then Insides Out, I would add right before Speedin Bullet to Heaven, in between these. That would make these 3 a really good, these 4 a good track run. So yeah, so Embers and then finish off on Worth. That's what I would do for this album. Next up, we have 2016, which is Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying. This is one of those fan favorites that I just never really did that much for me, to be honest. For me, this is definitely, I think, bottom 3 or 4 for me. There's not much here, and he's super sexual on this album, and there's just, I don't know, there's some things I don't really care for about this one. But then there's some really high points. It's a mixed bag of this one, but this is definitely a little bit lower for me. I would delete, let's see, 5 songs. I would delete 5 songs out of, I believe it's 20. Surfing, yeah, finish off with Surfing. 20 songs, I would delete 5. That's a quarter of them. Not a great number, but it's not like horrible either. And a lot of artists, it'd be a lot more. I know people are going to disagree with me, but whatever. All right, let's just get straight into this. The ones I would delete. So Frequency, great. Swim in the Light, great. Releaser, I don't. That one's weird. Light at First Sight, that one's pretty catchy. But I would delete that one as well. But in between, look at this. By Design, All In. Illusion's a little bit weaker. Rose Gold, one of my favorites. Baptized on Fire, an absolute classic. Delete for Flight at First Sight. It's catchy. Flight at First Sight. Flight at First Sight. And it had like the little dancey beat. It's fine. Advanced. Advance. I would love to advance. But dude, that one's cool. Ooh, I does it. Yeah, that's a great song. And then for me, Dance for Eternity. I didn't think I liked that one much, but every time I turn it on, I don't mind it. So Distant Fantasies, that's another weird sexual one I'm not a fan of at all. And Wounds is okay. Mature Nature, no. Another weird sexual one. And then this is crazy to me, deleting this, but I don't like The Guide. I think Kitchen's cool. Cosmic War is an absolute classic. And The Commander, that one's cool. And Surfin', amazing, one of his best songs. Love it. So yeah, those are the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for me, they just disrupt the album a lot. And even Dance for Eternity, I might delete, but it's fine. So we go from 20 down to 15. Maybe Advanced or Dance for Eternity. Sorry. But then I am going to add 2 songs. So the 2 from this era, both are great songs. Goodbye and The Rage. Oh my God. The Rage, one of my favorites. I love that song. I think this album should finish off on The Rage. So I'm going to add these 2. So Surfing into The Rage, I think it should go there. And then Goodbye is actually a really, really good song. I don't know where that's even from, to be honest. But I think it should go right after Cosmic Warrior. So put that right in there. So here is my album. So those 17. It would make it a 17-track album instead of 20. So delete 5, add 2. And balance it out. But what's the most amazing to me is like, Andre 3000 is one of my favorites of all time. And it took me months. I made a lyric video, every single feature he was ever on. And that took so long. But he's one of my favorites of all time. And this is like one of the weakest features he's ever done for me. It's just, I don't like the whole song. It's too sexual and weird for me. All right. Next up, we have Man on the Moon 3, The Chosen. Bro, I cannot stress enough how important this album was to me in my life. Now, this initially came out and I was like, oh my God, what the hell is this? Like, oh, this is not the Cudi I like. I hated on it for probably about a week. And then every listen, it just got better and better and better. And then all of a sudden I look and I listened to this album, I think all the way through like 68 or something absurd. It was like my most listened to album. Because I would walk to work this came out in the winter, I remember. And I would always walk to work whenever it snowed. And it snowed quite a bit. And I listened to this album so much, shoveling and just walking to work and shoveling at work and just doing, this is such an important album in my life. Some of these songs I listen to 83, 85 times. Like, I know all of these songs very, very, very well. It's crazy because initially this came out, I was like, oh my God, this is kind of trappy. He just turned up all the bass and just kind of like the production's not great. But then all of a sudden, like, it just kept growing on me. I look here. I would delete 1 song off of this. 1 out of 18. Out of 18 songs, I would delete 1. Beautiful Trip. Amazing. Tequila Shot's amazing. Another Day. She knows this. Tequila Shot's one of his best songs he's ever done. Another Day is cool. She knows this. Amazing. Dive. And we fight until we lie. Things are getting there. Oh my God, so good. Damage, a little weaker, but fine. Heaven on Earth, classic. Show Out, that was cool. Initially, I was like, why the hell is he making a Pop Smoke song? But that was fine. Solo Dolo Part 3, top 15 songs he's ever done. Sad People, that one grew on me a lot. Elsie's Baby Boy, that one grew on me too. Just because I was in the winter and like, he was so lonely in the winter. Or I can never sing. I know the song. If you put it out, I'll sing it. But September 16th, absolute beautiful song. The Void, amazing. It's the one where he's like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Oh my! In the end, the song's so beautiful. Loving Me, another great song. Phoebe Bridgers does so good. It's just a peaceful, lovely song. Pale Moonlight. I thought that one was weaker. I thought I would delete that one. Or For the Kids and Lord of No. I thought I didn't really care for these. I listened to them recently and I was like, wait a second, I love these songs. And you know what that leaves? That leaves one song. Delete. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a very big Trippie Redd fan at all. I don't really listen to his music. Not a big fan. However, I didn't think it was like a horrible song, but it's just for me, just delete. Just one delete. Just literally one. So that puts us on the same level as Satellite Flight and Man in the Moon. But I don't think I would. I still don't think I would put it top. It's probably like 5th or 6th to me. It's in the mix. But for some reason, it's just, I love this album, and I think there's not really deletes on here, but there's also not insane highs for me, except like Tequila Shots, Solo Dolo Part 3, The Void. Those are like Loving Me. Like those are like the super, super high ones for me. The rest are like all solid, and I wouldn't delete them, but that doesn't mean they're like top tier. And then around this time there was, I would also add Moon. Yeah, delete Rockstar Nights, put the Moon on here. Put Moon. And I know it's a Kanye song, but I'm not a fan of anything Kanye's done past 2018. So I deleted all of Kanye, and I couldn't delete that song. So I took that one, put it on here. And honestly, I would put this around September 16th and somewhere in here. I would put it somewhere in here, or maybe down here. I don't know. Put that somewhere in there. Finish off the album exactly the same with Lord I Know. And then, yeah, here's what I would do. Yep. Bonus tracks. Leader of the Delinquents, The Scots. Boom. Take this down from 18 to 17 by deleting this. And then add this, so make it 18 again. And then 2 bonus tracks. Leader of the Delinquents of The Scots. Delete The Adventures of Moon Man and Slim Shady. Not a fan. Not an Eminem person at all, to be honest. And he does good. It's just, he's Eminem. I don't know. Realistically, there is 2 deletes on here. Delete that and that. And mostly because of the features, to be honest. Because the features kind of curated the song. So delete those 2. And The Scots is cool. Leader of the Delinquents add as bonus tracks. So that brings it from 18 to 20 total. And deleting 2. So basically, I'll just bounce this out. So that is that one. So next up, we're going to go to 2022, which is Intergalactic. Now, this one is very, very slept on, in my opinion. I think this is a very, very solid album. There's a couple on there I don't really think are great. But for the most part, it's just a super solid album. And I really enjoy it. So let's just get right into it. So I'm only going to delete 2 out of these technically 14 songs. So it's 14 songs. The rest are bonus tracks. But out of these 14 songs, I'm going to delete 2 songs. I'm going to delete Can't Believe It. And I'm going to delete Burrow. Which technically it's a bonus track. So technically it goes with all those. So yeah, that's all I'm really going to delete for this. But then if we look at the bonus tracks as well, I'm going to delete Want It Bad. Oh my God, which is a Nigo song. And then Guns Go Bang with Jay-Z, which is on a soundtrack. Yeah, so technically there is 15, 16, 17, 18. There's 18 songs on here. I'm going to delete 1, 2, 3, 4. So bring it down to 14, and that'd be great. And I would also add Stars in the Sky to this. But let's just look at the track list. So Intergalactic theme, instrumental, cool. I really like when he starts off the album like that. Track number 2, New Mode, such a classic. Do What I Want, classic. Those are singles off of it. Angels, great. Ignite the Love, like In Love. Like these are all just really solid songs you could just put on and just vibe out to. And I really enjoy what this one. This is definitely the most like love type of songs that he put on here. I mean, obviously you can see from the cover because it's a soundtrack. In Love, Willing to Trust, one of my favorite songs. But yeah, I can't believe it. It's super weak. 2 Chainz is on it, and he did not do great. The beat, it's just nothing about that song grabs me. Just definitely delete that. Living My Truth's amazing. Maybe so good. Can't Shake Her solid. She's looking for me. She's looking for me. Oh my God. And then My Drugs, really good. Oh yeah, Summer to Fly is actually really, that's one I always sleep on. I always think I don't like it, and then I listen. I'm like, oh, wait, I do. So I do like that one. I do not, however, like Burrow with Don Toliver, and that was Steve Aoki, right? That's a really weird beat. Just too chaotic, not really for me at all. Guns Go Bang is actually pretty good. It's just, for me, the only really good part of this is Jay-Z. Jay kills that verse. But then the chorus is like, I make the guns go bang. I make the guns go bang. Ugh. And then Want It Bad is one of the worst songs he's ever done. I want to delete it right now. I want to delete this right now. I hate this song. But then you look at Stars in the Sky, which is off of the Sonic soundtrack, and that one's amazing. I would just put this right near the end. So Somewhere to Fly and then Stars in the Sky, boom, they'd go right into each other and finish off on this, which is a super solid song. Next up, we're going to Insano. Is such an interesting album to me because, well, there's a couple reasons. So right when this came out, I wasn't feeling it that much, and I was like, what is this? Like, I don't know, At the Party, the singles and everything, I wasn't really feeling. But then again, I was thinking to myself, like, oh wait, I thought the same exact thing with Man on the Moon 3, and look at that, I just deleted one song out of like 18 or whatever, 19, whatever. So now I'm thinking maybe I didn't give it a fair shot, so I keep listening to it, and it is actually growing on me a lot. However, I do actually have a playlist that I created. I rearranged everything and I put Mega Nitro or whatever the stupid deluxe was called, and Insano. I put them both together and I organized the tracks how I thought they should go. I posted this on Reddit, got a lot of hate for it, so like a lot of hate. But then again, it's Reddit, and it was like, this doesn't flow, this is horrible, it's the worst thing I've ever seen, oh my God, my life is over. Like, oh my God, people are so annoying. So, Insano, just the regular old track list. Let's look at that. There is 21 songs total. So let's just look at the original first before we even get to the Mega Nitro, because I didn't put Mega Nitro, stupid deluxe name. I didn't put that as a separate project. I put it all under Insano because it is technically all Insano. It's just a deluxe version. He called some stupid thing. Here's the songs that I'm going to delete. I'm going to personally delete Often I Have These Dreams. Keep Bouncing's cool. Get Off Me's cool. Most Ain't Dennis, so cool. Wow, one of my favorite songs. Electro Wave Babies, pretty catchy, not bad. Tale of a Night, not the biggest fan of that one. And then Cud Life, I'm also going to delete. Too Damn High, like completely get rid of that. Not a fan at all. And then get you go. Pull into my day on what you need. At the Party grew me so much. Mr. Cool is one of my favorite songs. Freshy's amazing. Tortured's a really good song. X and Cud. So the only thing I'm going to edit about X and Cud is Cudi's second verse I'm not a fan of. Will he cower? Never ever. Cleveland Soldier. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I think that part's a little corny, but that's just me. And then 7, absolutely get rid of. And Funky Wizard Smoke, I did not care for. Rager Boys, you could get rid of as well. And then the rest, I don't really like Hit the Streets either. But yeah, so I'm going to delete a lot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to delete 8 songs off of this. 8 out of 21, that's like 33. It's a pretty decent percentage. But yeah, if you delete all those, I'm already really happy. Except X and Cud. I delete Cudi's second verse. I like when it was just slow. I didn't like when it picked up and he got all inspiration or whatever. Okay, so that's those. And now we're going to look at the entire era, including Nitro, Mega Nitro, whatever the stupid name is. And then we're also going to look at songs around that time. So here's the rest, which is just absurd. Way too much music this year. So we're going to delete All My Life, Animate, Babe and I. Black Ops I did not care for. Chunky. Crash Test Cudi. Crash Test Cudi. Diamonds. Dreams I See. Everybody Like. We're going to delete Willis. Oh my God, Willis. And Win or Lose. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. But then it's interesting because all of these I really like. I'm sorry, I don't even need to really speak on many of these. All My Life is actually a pretty decent song. Re-listen to that a couple times, and I actually enjoy that song. Animate, just not necessary. Babe and I, weak. Black Ops is so weak for the feature. Oh. Chunky, no. Crash Test Cudi, no. Dreams I See is okay. Everybody Like, I really wish I loved that because I love Pusha T and Cudi, but it just didn't do that much for me. It was kind of mid. Willis is one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my entire life. Win or Lose is also really weak. Delete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. I'm going to keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, just 8. So we're going to take those 8, mix those with the 12. I don't know. It ends up being 21 total. Well, let's talk about the ones I like. I enjoyed. Heaven's Galaxy was amazing. Super good song. 6.5 minute song. Great. Just atmosphere, vibes, and humming. It's great. That's what Cudi's for. Human Made's cool. I definitely think it belongs on the album. I Just Want to Get High or whatever. This song's great with Bone Thugs and Harmony. What I Bleed. What a classic song. Moon Man Shit. Moon Man Shit. That one's cool. And then The Moon Man Survives is also cool. Like, these are just solid. I don't know. Now let's take a look at my playlist and the way I put it. So now we're going to take a look at what I think is a good track list. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I don't care what Reddit thinks. This is what I think. All right. So The Moon Man Survives. I think this would be a great intro track. I think The Moon Man Survives would be a great intro track to this album because a lot of his albums are based around the moon, being Moon Man, Mother Moon, blah, blah, this and that. And honestly, I feel like that's what was missing from this album. This album was just very incohesive to me. And as a whole, it's solid. There's some bangers on it, but like, I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of this album because I feel like it's not like a cohesive project like Man on the Moon or A Satellite Flight. And there's the lack of moon theme. So I try to sprinkle it throughout, and maybe it's a little misplaced. You can comment, I'm sure you will, that this is stupid and you're insane, all that, so dumb. But whatever. And then What I Bleed. Why did you leave this off the album? That song was so good. That was the first or second song you released. And that one grew on me so much. And then please keep in mind also, for Insano, I kept the track list exactly in the order he wanted, the Insano track list. I just sprinkled other songs in there. Just threw some others in there where I thought they would fit decently. So the intro into What I Bleed, which is a classic. And then Keep Bouncing, Get Off Me, that's in order or whatever. Most St. Dennis, that's in order. Wow, Electrowave Baby. But then I think this would fit right nicely in here. It's a very chill song. Electrowave Baby's all about just chill vibes, and I really enjoy that. And I think these would go together pretty well. And Get You Gone, that one's cool. And then Superboy. I put Superboy here. So this one, I actually really like Superboy. That's a good song. It's a great song. And I think I just think it's a good transition into At the Party, because then you go into Mr. Coola, Freshie, then Moon Man shit. Yeah, so Superboy, he went to the party, he became a Mister, and now he's tribute to his dog, and then now he's a man. Moon Man shit. And I think that fits very, very well into Moon Man shit. Yeah, because then he's gonna stay tortured. And then Heaven's Galaxy. This one's the only one that's completely out of place, I think. I was thinking intro, but then I was thinking near the end. I don't know. I just kind of put it in here. I feel like it was a decent fit between Exit Cut and Tortured. Insanely long intro, though. It kind of is a weird thing in there. But then again, you think back to Indicud and you think about the instrumentals that he sprinkled through in the middle, that one New York City Rage Fest, which I ended up not liking. But maybe this is something you would do. Put like a little break, Heaven's Galaxy, just or something like that. I don't know. And I think it goes in X and Cud, Porsche Topless, Human Made, I think that would be good near the end. And then Round and Round. Oh yeah, I deleted Lil Yachty off this. Lil Yachty, that's another thing you absolutely have to do. Delete Round and Round. Yachty's verse. Oh my god. And then Blue Sky's a great exit. So yeah, as you can see up here, it says 21 songs and 1 hour and 10 minutes. So now I'm gonna go back. So now, as you can see here, 40 songs, 2 hours and 2 minutes. So I deleted 19 songs. I think 21 songs would be perfect for this album. I just think there's a lot of stuff that could be cut off here. So 19's by far the most that I'm deleting. And I know they're not all off this album technically, but yeah, so I'm getting rid of all those. So yeah, there you have it. Cudi has 213 songs. So now I'm going to calculate how many out of these 213 I would delete. Full disclosure, I'm not including A Kid Named Cudi. I'm going to start from Man on the Moon and see the percentage of how many songs I would delete from there, because those are like legit studio albums. I would delete 1 song off of Man on the Moon. I would delete 3 songs off Man on the Moon 2. I would also delete another one around that time, so 4 total. And then from Wizard, I would delete 2 songs, Break and Dr. Pill, and then also Rocket, so that makes 3. Indicud, I would delete 3 songs, Girls, New York City Rage Fest, and Bees. Satellite Flight, 1 song, Return of the Moon Man. Speedin Bullet to Heaven, I'm not including all the Beavis and Butthead stuff. I'm just deleting 6 songs off that album. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So a total of 10. I'm deleting 10 songs from around that time period and on the album. And then Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, I'm deleting 5. Releaser, Flight at First Sight, Distant Fantasies, Mature Nature, and The Guide. So that's 5. And then Man on the Moon 3, I'm only deleting 1 song off the actual album, Rockstar Nights, and then I'm deleting The Adventures of Moon Man and Slim Shady as well. So I'm deleting 2 songs from there. Intergalactic, I am deleting 2 songs, Can't Believe It, and Burrow. But technically, Burrow's not really on, it's the deluxe, but whatever. And then I'm going to delete Want It Bad and Guns Go Bad, so it's +4, deleting 4 songs. And Insano, I'm deleting 8 songs on the actual original Insano. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then I'm deleting 11. So that gives a total of 19. I'm deleting 19 songs off of that. So that brings a total to 52. I'm deleting 52 songs. So if you take 52, divide it by 213, that is 24% of his music. And that is actually an insanely good ratio for such a high number of songs he has, 213. But yeah, Cudi's one of my favorite artists of all time. And just look at his discography. I mean, Indicud, Insano, Man on the Moon 2, Man on the Moon 3, Man on the Moon, Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, a little weaker for me. Satellite Flight, amazing. Speedin Bullet to Heaven. And Wizard. Like, he is one of the best, most diverse discographies ever. And he's just one of my favorite artists of all time. So, if he ever sees this, I hope he doesn't get offended. But this is my opinion of how I would fix his discography to make it perfect. And yeah. Hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do, because I really love doing this and I want to do more. And yeah, thank you so much for watching.